cannot change the interest rate regime.
I think we've been able to do that. Interest,
for instance, now,
at 8.6% or 8.6%.
No, they are talking of a desirable 9.7%. As of last year, we are still around 10 point something percent. So we have not even entered the single digit before we begin to move down. But if the single digit now, if you go to the banks now, what is the interest rate that you find in the banks? If you have a situation where you need to take a loan and you go to the banks now, you can get it at less than 16, 17%. What is the margin? What is the spread between the interest rate that is being done there and whatever? So all these things will be looked into if you have a core mandate for that, to ensure that as part of compliance, you make sure that most of those interest rates that they are charging comply, because you want to promote economic development in the country because it's part of your core mandate. For instance, why are they doing 2%? Even in some countries now, they have reached negative interest rates. They want people to come and take the money. But the fact of the matter is that some of the people are not qualified to take it. So the money is there, negative interest rates. Some people 1%, some 0%. You know what is happening in Japan now? And so we are looking at a situation where the rest of the world are recognizing the fact that your central bank can actually do a lot in terms of promoting economic and industrial development, apart from the basic financial stability function, which I think Malam Sanusi has done very well. He has been able to restore stability into the central banking system, into the banking financial sector, as it were. And part of the game is what we are able to see in the capital market. There is a lot of regulation now, and all the laissez-faire behaviors of the past are already abating. But the point must be noted that if he gets a core mandate of that type that I talked about, that is promoting maximum employment, you will find out that the behavior in the central bank and the banking system will change in a way to support entrepreneurship.
Meaning banks, in terms of their loan portfolios,
their loan portfolios, yes. SMC will now be seen as part of what they have to address in terms of giving them facilities to ensure that their businesses grow.
Now, while the structural challenges in the economy remain, that of course is still a big fear for the central bank governor. He's fiercely protective of these banks. He doesn't want them to have undue exposure to some of these companies that are considered high risk. Yeah.
So what do you do when that happens? When you have a situation where in your economy, most of the people that are qualified to take loans are not the ones that are taking the loans, you know what has happened in the past. Most of the loans that have gone bad are not loans given to, SMEs. SMEs are well protected and guarded and guaranteed. They are loans given to businessmen, ordinary businessmen, portfolio businessmen. We know all that has happened. Okay, so what we should now go into is how do you develop an entrepreneurial culture within an economy? Quickly, what is going to happen is this. When you want to send your child to an engineering school, it takes an exam. He finishes secondary school, he takes JAMB. You take the best. A business school, economics, law, architecture. But when you want to recruit entrepreneurs, you know what we do? As part of the courses an architecture student is doing, go and take a course, 3-unit course in entrepreneurship. That's not how to grow entrepreneurial capacity in an economy. We need to develop tests that will determine, immediately they are leaving school, we develop tests that will determine those who have entrepreneurial capacity. And then we put them through some level of training. After that training, we set them up for the purpose of doing business. It's not everybody that has this business acumen. But when you carry out tests on their capacity, they will be able to show. But we need to develop that in conjunction with innovation. Those are long-term capacity development issues that have to take place between our educational sector and the economic sector, because they have to handshake. If you have a situation where the people that are going to school are not entrepreneurial, we tell our children when they graduate and they don't find job, let them go and do something. Let them go. It doesn't just happen. There are modules of knowledge that you need to get for you to become a proper entrepreneur. Even when you have a crude perception of it, you need to be well trained, and that can happen. We can organize a situation where people will be tested for capacity in entrepreneurship and put through training. And those ones are the people that will now begin to do small-scale business enterprises and all that. And then the innovative ideas that are there, they can take it up and do something about it. That has to happen going forward. That is apart from the intervention that are being done right now. In terms of making the country a job-creating economy. The second thing is this. At the subnational level, What exactly is happening there? States and local governments. By the time the federal government set up the macroeconomic objectives, the environment, and all that, what is supposed to happen? The states and local governments are supposed to key into it and begin to use those opportunities created in that macroeconomic environment to better the lives of their people. Each governor must have a responsibility for how many jobs they can create. Each local government mayor or chairman or whatever you call it, what is his plan for job creation? Apart from infrastructure, building roads, bridges and all that, how do all those things? There is a distinction between a pro-growth economy and austerity economy. What most of the states in Nigeria are doing ordinarily amount to pro-growth. They are doing stimulus. Most of them are taking loan bonds and all that to talk about infrastructure. What number of jobs are you creating from that? We need to know. We need to get more data on job creation. Just like we have on inflation, just like we have on reserve. Job creation is something we need to wage a war, literally speaking, against unemployment in this country. Because the vast majority of our youths are just roaming the streets with nothing to do.
So you want a situation where, just like the U.S., the non-farm payrolls data, or
yes,
the weekly
we have it regularly from the states, from the local government. Apart from that, the local government and the states have a lot to do. Most of the entrepreneurs can be identified by them. The local businessmen, those who are doing little things here and there that can engender employment creation. You liaise with them. You create a division in your ministry or in your local government. There's something called business attraction and retention in the U.S. It's being done at the local government level with the support of the states. They have their data on how many businesses can come in. They have an agency that takes care of things like strategic planning for these businesses because they may not have capacity to do this. So they have a unit, just like you have a town planning unit that approve drawings. They have a strategic planning unit that look at your strategic plan. You want to go into business? Okay, this is what you can do to help you. We have a land somewhere around on the express. We have done this. We have put infrastructures there. You can go there and set up. We'll continue to monitor you. These are the things that we can do to create jobs. The jobs will not just happen. When the macroeconomic fundamentals are in place, the price stability is there, the economy is growing, what next to do is for the subnational government. We don't take them up on that. We have never taken up anybody and say, how many jobs have you created? Just like we have never asked them, how many graduates of your secondary school make 5 credits? They just say they are having so many students that are taking school start. So we need this data. This is very important data that should be coming up regularly, either quarterly, monthly, or weekly. You talk about non-farm payroll. Where is it in our own economy? It's not available. Nobody has an exact figure of how many people are unemployed in this country. You have a situation where in the local government, they don't have the data. And the data of the local government should form the basis. It should be
bottom up,
not top down. I told the IMF people at the time in US, I said, the kind of economic model that you give to Nigeria is a big country, multi-ethnic, multi-dimensional, many states, many local governments. How do you ensure that most of these policies that is prescribed at the federal level in Abuja percolate down or even derive from the existing situation at the subnational level? The subnational level, I'm not talking of fiscal federalism. That's a different point. What I'm talking about now is their role as agents, organs of government, units of government. What is their role? What are they doing about that now? We're not hearing anything from the states on job creation.
Well, some of them will say, especially the states in the southwest, that they're keen into agriculture, they're making farmers out of fresh graduates.
I want a situation where such efforts will be translated into how many jobs. How many graduates have you converted? Where is your conversion training school? Where you convert BA history to agricultural experts. It's not enough for you to say you are doing all these things. Because we have a particular number of people, for example, in Oyo State that are unemployed. So if a governor in Oyo State is carrying out some program that has to do with unemployment, he must be able to say at the end of that program that we have been able to employ so many. Then people that are taking contract from them, how many people are they employing? The employment situation in Nigeria has reached a crisis point, whereby if you take a job from me as a consultant or a contractor, I will have to ask you, how many people are you taking in? Because I'm giving you this thing because the government will not create a job. They will create it through all these small businessmen.
Are you saying you do not have faith in the federal government's, the U-Win program, this GIS graduate
the U-Win program, the GIS program, I have absolute faith in them as intervention programs. No country grows out of intervention program out of its problem. It's a crisis situation, you want to move in immediately and do something. But that will not solve the problem because it's not hitting the root of the problem.